My entire family despises my fiancé, and I have to choose between them and her. Is there something I am not seeing here, and is my fiancé manipulating me? Plus update. My fiancé and I met while I was at a bad period in my life. We hit it off right away and had a whirlwind relationship. I proposed after 3 months, and we're now engaged. My family never seemed to approve of her or especially like her. They are all well educated and work in professional positions, but she is a college dropout who works as a hostess. She is launching her own business, which I am sponsoring. My sister-in-law and brother were the source of the trouble. They advised me that 3 months was too short and that I should date her for a longer period of time. They also hinted that she's a gold digger, though they never used the phrase. They stated this since she doesn't contribute financially. My fiancé dislikes my SIL because she is wealthy and accomplished, and he believes she is snooty. My fiancé was not invited to a family wedding, which exacerbated the situation. She is of a different ethnicity, thus she accused my family of racism in front of my parents. My parents never stated an opinion on her, but she was a source of contention for them. My SIL and brother contributed to this by informing them of my financial donations to her businesses, as well as other specifics regarding her connection. My parents have told me that I'm making the incorrect choice. When I informed my fiancé, she reacted angrily. She messaged my sister-in-law, telling her that she is a bad person for attempting to destroy our relationship. My SIL informed my parents once again, and they have refused to pay for and attend the wedding. My fiancé claims her family would welcome me with open arms and that we may marry at City Hall. She accused my parents of being snobbish, claiming that they only like my SIL because she is educated and of the same race as they are. I adore my fiancé, but I get the impression that she is attempting to persuade me into severing all relations. I'm at a loss for what to do, and I don't want to hit a dead end with my family. Any suggestions would be much appreciated. Update. So we split up. Many of the responses reflected what my family was saying, but the outside viewpoint cemented it in my mind. My parents and I get along well, and my SIL is one of my closest friends. To clarify from the prior article, I never believed they were racist or snobbish. That was an impression my ex instilled in me. The breakup was a shambles. When I informed her that I believed we were moving too quickly and that it wasn't working, she burst into tears and threatened to kill herself. For the first time, I could plainly see the manipulation, and I simply informed her that it was beyond my pay grade and that she should get professional assistance. Now, for all the money I put into her company. Well, that was a mistake, and I'm simply going to chalk it up to a sunk cost. It did harm my pockets, but trying to recover from it would just entangle new webs. Thank you very much for all of your advice. It saved me from making a costly error. Story 2. XGF was cheating on me with a colleague for about 3 years. She lied to me when she thought she got caught, but I was still oblivious. Eventually I caught her, but she still tried to lie and deny cheating. This is going to be a lengthy one. Background: I had been with my ex-girlfriend for 4 years. I helped her acquire a position in one of the divisions of the firm I worked for 2 years into our relationship since she despised her previous job and it had unsociable hours. We live in separate buildings. I wanted to relocate to her building, but my job required me to remain elsewhere for security reasons. I work in the legal sector. She loves her team. Everyone is her age except for one person who she claims is the same age as her father. So she sees him as a father figure. We'll name him MXGF and M form a friendship, for which she receives the cold shoulder from her colleagues. She tells me about it and how she finds it disgusting that the team spreads rumors about her and refuses to speak to her because she is close with M, whom she regards as a father figure. So I trust anything she says. Every year on her birthday, we would celebrate by traveling to another city in the UK. I had been begging my GF to go on vacation with me for the previous year since we had been staying around the UK on different times and I really wanted to travel overseas with her. She says she doesn't want to go overseas with a guy until after marriage. We were in it for the long haul, marriage and all, so I replied okay. I had planned to propose to her around Christmas time that year. In the summer, I am summoned away for business to a place in mainland Europe for 2 weeks, and my assistant arranges everything for me. I ask my ex-girlfriend if she wants to join me, and she answers the same thing she said before. I try to explain how. We travel everywhere and it's the same thing, but she asks what will she tell her family, and how will she show them images of us. Her family had no idea she was dating, and she claimed to be from a traditional South Asian household. So I'll leave it at that. I attempt to contact her while I'm there, but she doesn't answer. Then she texts me and says she's with her friends. So I leave her to it, and when she phones me, I hear a guy's voice, and she tells me it's the TV, and she wanted time away from her family, so she rented a hotel room for the night. She got into a lot of conflicts with her sisters and mother, but she typically kept in her room. I didn't think much of it again, although her contact had reduced significantly that night and for a few days while I was gone. I assumed she was simply busy and didn't give it much attention. Then, a few months later, it's her birthday, and she knows we'll be spending it together. She tells me not to schedule anything for the day and to do it ahead of time because she's going to Bournemouth with her cousin female on her birthday. Her cousin is going through a difficult time and needs a break, so that's why they're going, and she tells me she won't be taking many photos because her cousin doesn't like taking photos. Keep in mind, this girl took photos at every opportunity. This was at the height of Snapchat, and I believe her once more. Some of you may be wondering why we didn't celebrate once they returned. Well, I was scheduled to leave for work 2 days after her birthday for 4 weeks in the Middle East. From my previous visit until the present, she has been behaving aloof and stating that she was too tired from work and didn't enjoy chatting or messaging as much as she used to and simply wanted to sleep. She would decline to meet for lunch, stating she was overworked, and I would believe her. Now I've decided to postpone the proposal until the summer since she prefers the summer to the cold and she enjoys the sea. We had planned to see a movie together for Christmas, and she claimed to have turned down certain coworkers because she wanted to watch it with me, so we agree on a day in December. I went to see a football game at the stadium, texted her on the way there and after the game, but did not get a response until I got home, 2-hour one-way journey, stating she was busy with visitors at home, etc. A few days later, I run into a buddy who asks what I think of the movie that day, the day I went to watch the football. I'm perplexed and ask him to explain. He says he spotted my ex-girlfriend at the movies with a guy, he had his back, and thought it was me. By the way, this was the picture we decided to see together. It had mixed reviews, but XGF loves to watch movies regardless of the reviews. So I contact her and ask her to see the movie the following day. Here comes the first red flag that slowly opened my eyes. She claims it has awful ratings and she doesn't want to watch it. Then I question her about being seen, and she tells me that she went with the whole squad, but she was by a drink and M was waiting for her. So he must have seen M. I didn't think much of it since I assumed she considered M as a father figure. Then, a few days later, another person approaches me and asks how I located a certain Michelin-starred restaurant. I had never gone to this place, so I tell him he had misidentified someone for me, and he claimed he was certain it was me since he spotted my ex-girlfriend sitting there with a guy. So I approach her this time, and she tells me she went with her friends, and one of them purchased her husband, and that's who he must have seen, since his pals were probably powdering their noses. I believe her once again. I met a man who works in her office, and he knows we're dating. By the way, she hadn't informed everyone in her workplace that she was seeing someone. Just a few individuals I knew outside of work who worked with her knew. She warns me to be cautious since my ex-girlfriend spends a lot of time with them. They arrive to work together, have lunch together, and leave work together. I tell him it's nothing since they're close friends and she considers him to be a father figure. For the following several months, she seems to be spending a lot of time at one of her friends' place, but I don't think anything of it. Her contact reduces, stating she's simply busy and so on. When we drive out in her vehicle one day, I attempt to connect my phone and see M's phone name display. When I asked her, she said she only gave him a ride once and it instantly linked to her vehicle. I believed her while attempting to connect my phone. Now that I think about it, I should have realized right away that this was not the case. Fast forward to the summer, she informs me she is going away with a school friend for her birthday, but not on the actual day, And she also wants me to do anything a day before or after her birthday, since she is spending it with her family at home, like she did last year. So I go out of my way to schedule her activities off her bucket list. She also informs me that she will not be shooting photographs on this trip since her companion is in a difficult situation and does not like taking photographs. I don't have time to notify her about my planned vacation since she seldom speaks to me. She had informed me the dates of her original vacation, but had to postpone it because too many people in the workplace knew she was going away, to quote her. I wasn't sure what she was saying, but it all adds up in the end. She misses her first flight and must rebook. When arranging what she would do for her birthday, she makes a rookie mistake. She uses a joint hotel booking account to book a hotel for 2 people in our city on her birthday and expressly requests a double bed. When I saw this, I became dubious because of what she had indicated she would do. So I made a mental note of this and made a mental note of when it was no longer free to cancel, and I was aware that there was a common buddy who was informing her of whatever I did. If this mutual friend knew my ex-GF was going to similar places as me, but not with me. So on the day, I made sure to post a Snapchat story available only to my ex-girlfriend and a mutual friend, claiming that I was going to the same hotel she had booked. I drive home after posting this on Snapchat. The hotel booking is canceled within 5 minutes, and curiously, the only person who saw my story was a mutual buddy. The greatest part was that my ex-girlfriend lost all of her money for the booking, since it was beyond the free cancellation period. I still didn't have enough specific proof to establish she was cheating, so I left it at that, knowing I had financially harmed her since she had complained about not having enough money. I'm heading into the airport to check in, and who do I see checking in? My ex-girlfriend with M. She notices me, but I simply make my way to check-in. She attempts to approach me, but she can't since it's business class only. Then she attempts to find me in the airport, but I'm in the lounge, watching her rush about. I sent her a message indicating it was all over. She attempted to claim that M had merely caught a ride and was going on a stag, but who goes on a stag and does not even meet them at departures or in the terminal? Claims her buddy will fly from Manchester. What's the purpose of going on vacation with a friend if she's not traveling with you? This is where things get interesting. I check the hotel booking account and notice a booking made under her name for a twin/double room with the particular request of a double bed for 2 persons. I could have called it off, but I let her do it. When we return, she begs to meet up, tries to explain why she didn't go with him, and tells additional falsehoods, but I point out all the flaws in her tale. Later, she attempts to provide pictures of texts from her buddy when they arrived at their vacation spot, but refuses to disclose the dates and timestamps. You can simply alter the name of the contact, so she has her sister send them. Then she said she erased the mails by mistake and couldn't prove the timestamp. It all made sense why she didn't want to take photographs, until I met friends who worked in the same workplace, and they told me this was the second time they were on vacation for the same number of days and traveled to Bournemouth together. They always had lunch together, were caught kissing and had to be transferred to separate floors, but she didn't want me to come have lunch with her since she didn't have much time and didn't want anybody to know she was in a relationship. I subsequently discovered she used to frequent his home, so I did some cross-referencing and discovered they were the days she claimed to be at her school friend's home female. Another thing that happened after the Christmas movie disaster was that she purchased an All Saints men's jacket, again from a mutual account, and I assumed it was for me. We all know how expensive these coats are, but I never saw it until I saw her at the airport with M, who was wearing it. That year, I received nothing. She paid for everything, including meals, vacations, and travels throughout the UK to the movies. M was having a good time. I did question her whether she was horrified by her own notion that M was a father figure. She denied ever saying it, but I and a few others can remember every time she did. What stung the most was that she had pretended to be faithful for years, looking down on males and girls who cheated on their spouses while doing the same thing herself. What she doesn't realize is that this has had a significant impact on me. I can't trust anybody, and I don't want to be in another relationship because I'm afraid of being cheated on. I'm slowly recuperating, but it's tough. After capturing her, I fell into a deep melancholy and lost contact with practically everyone. Sorry for the lengthy essay, but I attempted to include just the most important events. By the way, she was 28 and he was 52 at the time, and I know they returned to the same vacation spot the following year. She managed to gain my assistance with other job applications before she was detected since her connection was known around the company, and she believed she should go before I found out. I'm sorry I helped her the second time.